Coming up on Look Today, well, a monument honoring veterans in our region has been installed in the town of Lake George. I've got details. Plus, we talked to Elizabeth Sobol, president of SPAC, about the exciting SPAC on Stage concert series in part 2 of our conversation with her. And the 3rd annual Concert for a Cause is happening this weekend to benefit Prospect Center in Queensbury. I've got those details. All ahead on Look Today. Welcome everyone. I'm Jay Hood Jackson. This is Look Today. Happy Friday. Tonight's program, I sit down with Nathan Olson. Now, he's a youth pastor, Church of the King, and we're joined by Matt Losey. He's a youth pastor with New Hope Community Church, and they're here to talk about the upcoming School of Palooza event. I also sit down with Barbara Kolarova. She's Artistic Director and General Manager, Lake George Music Festival. And we're joined by Alex Lombard. He's the founder of the festival. And they're here to talk about the upcoming summer season. Plus, we've got your weather for the Tri-North counties. But first, these headline stories. Well, in our lead story, a monument honoring our veterans has been installed in the town of Lake George. Now, the monument is located near the gateway of Lake George on the corner of Route 9 and Route 9N. Now, the town and local veterans organizations work together on the monument, which will have inscriptions which will be added to the monument at a later date. Well, we spoke to Dennis Dickinson. He's supervisor, town of Lake George.
We're really excited about it. It's been a long time coming. Denny Galloway is a veteran, and he's a founding father of the town, if you will, and he was instrumental in starting this whole thing. And Dan Hurley, who's a veteran himself on the board, joined in with Denny, and the two of them really spearheaded this thing.
In other news, well, the next SPAC on Stage will take place on August 14, featuring Time for Three. They're a classical three-piece ensemble. Now, this unique performance allows audience members to come on the stage, actually sit on the stage, and experience a concert, let's say, from a very different perspective. Well, we spoke to Elizabeth Sobol. She's president of SPAC, about SPAC on Stage.
So it was just spectacular. I think the excitement level of everybody. Many people said to me, "Oh my God, I've never even been backstage at SPAC before." Most people had never been on the stage before. So that was just, people were just like so excited to just be up on that stage, to see what the audience, what the performer sees when they're up on that stage.
Wow, I've been there. It is spectacular. All right, switching from news to weather. We can expect some thunderstorms this weekend. Let's see how the weekend's shaping up. For a more detailed look at our weather, let's head to the Glens Falls Weather Center for a look at your first weekend forecast.
Thank you, Jesse. I'm meteorologist Clarence Ponster with your first look weather forecast. So here's the weather situation. First, we'll show you the overnight lows, mainly in the lower 60s across the Capital District. Fort Edward 61, 63, and Wright Hall. And then here in Glens Falls will be 61, the overnight low. Cooler temperatures up at elevation, mid-50s expected. We'll see a few isolated storms as stationary front boundaries and cold fronts approach our area. And we're going to see mostly cloudy skies as well. We'll see a south breeze at about 5 miles per hour. And then for our Saturday, the bulk of that cold front is going to approach the viewing area. Scatter storms, mostly cloudy, 77 the afternoon high, a south breeze at 5 to 10 miles per hour. As you look at the out-to-door forecast, we'll see more scattered storms and temperatures in the mid to upper 60s. And look at the extended forecast, we'll see more chances of showers and storms, unfortunately, for the remainder of the weekend. 30% coverage, so not a complete washout for any outdoor activities, as high temperatures will be up in the upper 70s to maybe around 80, low temps, lower 60s, upper 50s, and that's what will be for the next few days into early next week. Still with a slight chance of showers and storms on Monday, and then for Tuesday and Wednesday, we'll see high temps back about 80 degrees under mostly sunny skies and lower to mid 50s for overnight lows, and each day winds will be generally out of the west southwest. That's a look at the first look weather forecast. I'm meteorologist Clarence Ponser. Now I'll send it back to you, Jesse.
Well, thanks, Clarence. Saturday is not looking so good, and it hasn't all week. I don't know. All right, back to the news. Well, an organization we work a lot with, Prospect Center, Center for Disability Services, hosting their third annual Concert for a Cause in Lake George this weekend. Now, the concert will be held in Shepherd Park, 5 to 10 p.m. on Saturday. Well, we spoke to Ann Schneider-Costigan about the upcoming event.
Ryan Clark, who is a local musician, will be hosting the third annual Concert for a Cause to benefit Prospect Center, which is a division of the Center for Disability Services. And last weekend we held our volleyball tournament on $1 Million Beach in Lake George, and we're really hopeful that Saturday evening the community will continue to support us and come out for this benefit.
Now, Ryan Clark, the musician she's referring to, also performed on our music show Tracks. So if you'd like to see him, go to our website, looktvonline.com, search out Tracks, and search out Ryan Clark. In other news, well, a presentation of the history of rock and roll in Saratoga took place at Saratoga Springs Public Library. Now, the presentation is part of the Gene Stam Memorial Program. Well, panelists spoke on their individual experiences with rock and roll music throughout the 70s and the 80s. Well, I'm not exactly sure how they remember the 70s and the 80s, but that's up to them. Well, look, we spoke to Tom Dimopoulos. He's writer and organization of the presentation.
I think what many of the speakers tonight touched upon, besides their personal favorites through the eras dating back to the 1950s, was the emotional connection they've had to the music, to their childhood.
Tell me he doesn't look like the guy who was the lead singer in Jay Giles' band from the 70s and the 80s. Up next, I sit down with Nathan Olson. He's a youth pastor, Church of the King, and we're joined by Matt Losey. He's a youth pastor, New Hope Community Church, and they're here to talk about the upcoming Schoolapalooza event. Plus, I also sit down with Barbara Kolarova. She's Artistic Director and General Manager, Lake George Music Festival, and we're joined by Alex Lombard. He's the founder. They're here to talk about the exciting upcoming summer season. But first, if you see news happening, you want to share a story idea, how about join us for an interview? Then give us a call on the hotline. The number is 798-8000. Well, that's all the time we have for this edition of Look Today. It's Friday, and thanking the crew this Friday is I can't even tell you. We have been all over the place. Andrew's been all up around the North Country in Lake George Village, on the lake, all over the place. And Dana was over at SPAC, and Drew was over at SPAC and at the library. All these stories that you're seeing here on Look Today is possible because we're just out and about in the community. So thank you to the crew. That, of course, as you know, ladies first, would be Antoinette and Dana. Then there's Andrew. Then there's Drew. We got Jack and Joel and Norm, who make the show possible each week. It's Friday. I don't even want to attempt to tell you about all the great events that are going on this weekend, but just a couple of reminders. Go to the lawn, sit on the lawn at SPAC. You will have a magnificent time, I promise you. Concert for a Cause, Shepherd Park, Saturday night, featuring Ryan Clark. That's for Prospect Center. Adirondack Theater Festival, it's the last show of the season. Glitches in Reality. If you saw that interview I did with the magician who's this program is about, it's pretty damn amazing. And Lake George Music Festival opens this weekend as well. And that's just a capper. Go up to Adirondack Experience in Blue Mountain Lake, take in Stony Creek for a rodeo, line dancing. You get the idea. That's all the time we have. So have a safe weekend, everyone. We'll see you Monday night for the stories that matter to you. Good night, everyone.